Welcome to 6096 Detail, Rookie. I know you've probably got questions, like why this particular division has the lowest rates of morale of any in the entire Foundation, but I promise you that the answer to that question will be more than clear by the time we're done today. Rather than boring you with the preamble, let's go take a look at what you've been assigned to, shall we? Yep, follow me, right down this hall. It's the minimal security wing, so don't be so nervous. There are creatures much more theoretically dangerous than our charge here at Site 19. Yep, that's right, that door there. The one with the viewing point? Have a peek inside and see SCP-6096. No, this isn't some hazing prank. That's it, under the sheet. No, we don't know what it looks like underneath, if there even is something underneath. It's about 5 feet tall and weighs only around 48 kilograms, so hardly a bruiser. But the truth is, it can walk out of here any time it likes, and there's nothing we could ever hope to do to stop it. Does that concern you? Well, I suppose it concerned me once too, when I first joined the detail so many years ago, but you get used to it. Or you'll shatter into a million little pieces, and nothing and nobody would ever be able to piece you back together. That's not uncommon in this group either, by the way. Everything you heard about this being the lowest morale detail in Site 19 is sadly very true. Let's cut to the chase. This entity has never spoken a word in all the time we've ever been aware of it, but we know exactly what it wants: to annihilate. I say annihilate and not kill, because there's a level of ambiguity when it comes to what happens to the victims of this particular anomaly. It will select a person, someone at random from anywhere in the world with no bearing or consistency between them, and it will begin to make its way towards them at a steady pace. When it eventually comes to be in the person's presence, it will envelop them within its blanket and they'll be paralyzed in place. We don't know what happens beneath the blanket, and for reasons we'll soon discuss, it's impossible to change this. But we know from both footage and first-hand experience that the person beneath the cloth will scream in terrible pain all throughout the process, lasting between 20 and 40 minutes generally. If you want to avoid being selected by SCP-6096 and carrying out its nightmarish quest, the best way to get your name de-emphasized in the raffle is subscribing to SCP Explained and watching our exciting SCP videos. Come on, do you really want to take the chance? If you don't subscribe and you hear a knocking in your door tonight, you'll regret it. Given that you work here at the SCP Foundation, it makes sense that you've got questions. This entity is doing something terrible and irrevocable to people. Why can't the Foundation contain it for good, or perhaps even neutralize it if that isn't an option? Well, that's because neutralizing this thing or even impeding its journey simply isn't an option. This is the case for two extremely important reasons. The first of these reasons is that SCP-6096 cannot be intentionally harmed by anyone but its victim. I mean that in its most direct and literal sense. One cannot harm 6096 with any kind of intention. You can't attack the anomaly. You can't order someone to attack the anomaly. You can't trick others into unknowingly attacking the anomaly. You cannot lay a trap for the anomaly, nor can you order others to do this, nor can you trick someone into unknowingly making a trap for the anomaly. You cannot intentionally create a device that will autonomously attack the anomaly. You can't even leave the anomaly's presence or cause damage to yourself when the act of doing so would cause it harm. Oh, and this is of least concern but still relevant: you can't remove the anomaly sheet either. And the second reason is... Oh, did you just have the vision too? Yeah. Michael Smith in Boston. Yep, you see him. Sitting on his sofa playing video games with no idea what's coming to him. Now that means that SCP-6096 has entered its active stage. It'll be on the move now, and it's our job to help it do its work. So, let's follow it to the helicopter outside. The rest of Mobile Task Force Zeta 29 will already be on the move. You see, it's very important that we protect the anomaly and let it do its work. We're the lesser of two evils here. Remember that while we follow it up to the helicopter pad, it's never in a hurry. It knows that we'll do whatever we need to in order to help it fulfill its objective. Climb into the helicopter with us and we'll find our way to its victim much more efficiently. Isn't it insane to think that before all this, it might have needed to go the distance on foot or in a car if it got lucky? What an insane level of exposure risk. This is a far more efficient way to help it find its way to where it needs to be. And now we're touching down. You're lucky this happened on your first day, you know. There's no regular interval between victim selection. It seems as random as the victim themselves. Sometimes people are on the job for weeks before this happens, and it always takes a worse toll if they got that out of the way before getting too adjusted to inactivity. Yeah, just as planned, the rest of the task force has already arrived. They'll be sedating Michael inside so that he can't resist. Well, we just need to follow it inside and let it do its thing. Any civilian bystanders will be given amnestics afterwards. Sadly, you won't be cleared for the same thing. You know, just little drawbacks of the job. Oh, no. Looks like Michael isn't responding to the tranquilizers as we hoped. No worries, you grab one arm, I'll grab the other. We need to just hold him still and keep him from struggling long enough to let 6096 envelop him, and then the hard part's done. Oh, yep, there we go. I know. The screaming can be distressing, and while you never get fully used to it, it does get easier to tolerate over time. It helps to imagine your favorite song in your head to drown it out while it's happening. That's definitely helped me live with it. And voila, he is gone. Now we just need to escort 6096 back to its containment cell and close the door, and just like that, you've weathered your first active period. Well done, rookie. We'll talk about it more in the helicopter. You seem a little rattled. Don't worry, that's completely normal for a newbie. Showing is better than telling when it comes to expressing the second anomalous attribute that makes 6096 such a unique and trifling anomaly. Whoever sees it on the move during its active period is immediately compelled to help it. Nope, there's no way of resisting, and yes, this does mean that ever since it started being contained, it's made the people assigned to its containment, like you and me, the personal squad of valets and assistants, helping it get its victims more efficiently than ever before. Oh, that strange sensation you felt in your mind earlier? Well, the second you witness 6096 in its active state, the knowledge and images of its victim's name and location will be beamed into your head, and then you'll fall in line. You'll fall in line no matter what. And of course, it won't be your first day here at the SCP-6096 team without getting the spiel from Commander Samansky. He'll be your head of operations while we're out in the field helping 6096 do its thing. Just listen closely, he's done this for a long time. You can tell by that deep-set hollow look in his eyes. If anyone in the world knows anything about standing the test of time here, it's him. Just relax as you watch him take the stage and show you how it's done. Welcome to Mobile Task Force Zeta 29. The booze is under the sink. No need to worry about professionalism down here. The higher-ups couldn't demote me if they wanted to. Apparently, my presence as the head of SCP-6096 Containment is beneficial enough to it that me being reassigned would count as harming it. Lucky me. That's Samansky. Yes, it's his biting sense of humor that keeps us all laughing here, even on the worst days. It's okay to laugh. Everyone needs a little on-the-job humor. You're probably wondering how we can be shameless enough to say we have this thing under containment. It comes and goes whenever it feels like it, and if we ever decided it didn't want to come back to its containment cell, we have literally no way of forcing it, and yep, you're probably already thinking that calling that room a containment chamber instead of a hotel room is just as shameful. To that I say you're absolutely right. There is nothing we can do against SCP-096. Feel free to take a drink until you're able to accept that. Don't hold back, you're going to become very familiar with that bottle anyway. I know I did. The first time I had to hold the door to a maternity ward for that thing. Yeah, that was a particularly unpleasant incident, but I'm pleased to tell you that an incident like that has unfolded here fewer than 10 or at the very most 15 times. Most of them are a little easier on whatever parts of your conscience endures. The idea of containing SCP-6096 is a bad joke. We all decided long ago that the only way out of this nightmare is liquidation, decommissioning, neutralization, whatever you want to call it. But that's no walk in the park either. I've stood in that chamber for hours, gun pointed at 6096's head, screaming at my finger just to tighten slightly. Didn't work. You can't harm SCP-6096 no matter how much you want to. You can't even start a Rube Goldberg kind of thing to eventually harm SCP-6096. It's just a fact of the world. Maybe a semiohazard or whatever it's called. Yeah, this feels like a good moment to take you aside just to avoid Commander Samansky going on a tangent and explain some of the scenarios that he and the other researchers have proposed for the destruction of SCP-6096. Even telling you this is no easy thing, seeing as even setting in motion through words or thought actions that might harm or even obstruct SCP-6096 could be considered an attempt to bring harm to it. These, at least, are allowed in terms of expression and thought. No idea what that says about its potential viability. The first potential ray of sunshine would be the Global Cult Coalition or the Chaos Insurgency, or, any number of the groups that despise us for valid or not so valid reasons, blowing up a convoy transporting SCP-6096 to its intended target. Of course, there are downsides to that. One of them is that some of us would likely be present and, as a result, be killed in the process, but that's really a small price to pay for the long-term benefit of neutralizing SCP-6096. Of course, the other complication is that for this plan to work, the external group couldn't know that this particular anomaly was being transported. They'd need to attack us for completely separate reasons, and we, while under the complete thrall of the entity's influence, would need to be completely and truly overwhelmed. Being blindsided by a powerful explosive feels like the most realistic option there, but even then, it's leaving an awful lot up to chance. The second option might be a potential for AI to do something it's never done before. A good thing. Seems unlikely, I know, but allow me to explain. Thus far, none of us have been able to communicate the existence of SCP-6096 to any of the AI constructs, or AICs, that the Foundation has, created or employed. This suggests using inductive reasoning based on the rules we're aware of about SCP-6096, that an AIC would be capable of harming it. Perhaps under the basis that the rules governing 6096 don't consider AICs to be true minds. This is the basis for the following scenario. No human could tell an AIC to destroy SCP-6096, nor could any human tell an AIC about SCP-6096. However, SCP-6096 does still exist on the SCP Foundation database. If an AIC, through completely independent means, discovered the SCP-6096 file on the Foundation database and made the decision, without influence, that SCP-6096 needed to be neutralized and somehow carried out this process, then it could theoretically result in the entity being killed. If the purely logical intelligence of a powerful AIC deemed it that SCP-6096 should not continue to live, it would be able to step outside the bounds of human cognition and devise a way that a deadly accident could befall 6096. It would rid us of this terrible burden. Then there's the third scenario, the one that's come the closest to actually succeeding in its task, albeit an unpleasant price for all involved. Seeing as the target is seemingly chosen at random, there is always the possibility that the entity might choose something actually capable of getting the drop on it and ending its reign of terror. Of course, this scenario was almost infinitely more plausible before the SCP Foundation ever encountered it, given it sadly has a much higher chance of getting its victim with the involvement of professionals like you or me involved rather than the common rabble. But even we here at the Foundation aren't perfect. Even if there's no possibility of SCP-6096 turning its wrath onto John Wick, there are plenty of immensely powerful individuals out there in the world, from accomplished thaumaturgists who could turn our organs to powder inside our bodies with a simple murder, or gun nuts with enough of an arsenal to fend off Hammerdown for at least half an hour. One of those is actually the closest anyone has gotten to successfully killing 6096, but sadly, Agent Lopez, a member of the team, leapt in front of the bullet at the last possible second and was shot through the aorta. He bled to death seconds later while the rest of the team worked to subdue the victim. Any of these could be the one, but it's not like we could do anything to actually plan them taking place, since doing so would be against the rules. As Commander Samansky says, let's be honest. These scenarios aren't scenarios, they're fantasies. The odds of any of these things happening on their own are tiny, minuscule. The only thing that can really do 6096 in, far as I can see, is sheer coincidence. In the end, all we can do is wait and hope. Hope for one of us to make a genuine mistake that gets the right dominoes falling. But I wouldn't hold your breath. After all, we're so goddamn good at what we do. Now check out SCP-1861, the crew of the HMS Wintersheimer, and Revenge of D-Class Ghosts, SCP-4973, Dead Men Walking, for more.